Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a review on some new e.l.f. products. So it's going to be some try-ons, some talking through, some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like, why I didn't like them, that sort of thing. But I'm actually going to be showing you the products. Some of them I'll put a disclaimer on. Some of them did break me out and cause me to have texture on my skin, so I will not be putting those products in my face. I love you guys, but I just don't want to deal with the texture. But I will walk you through each of those products, the good, the bad, the ugly, that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Keep watching. Okay, so this is my fresh face. Obviously, have a lot of redness. I don't know why when I do these videos, my face gets so red. Like normally on a day-to-day, it's not this bad, but for whatever reason, when I decide to film these videos, it's like, hello, we're gonna look like a freaking Christmas tree. But I think the camera makes it a lot worse. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And then I look in the camera, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so red. So yeah, that's what we're working with today. So the first thing I got was the Poreless Putty Primer. Looks like this. This says that it's universal sheer. It's supposed to smooth the skin and prep it with squalane, I don't know, big words scare me, to help moisturize and grip makeup for all day wear. So I'll be honest with you, I did try this, and what I did was, I've worn this stuff for 10 days, but I introduced things, differently or whatever, so that I could tell, hey, this breaks me out or this doesn't break me out or whatever. So I used this first, and I used it with my normal products, no other e.l.f. products, just my normal day-to-day foundation, my concealer and everything. And this ended up breaking me out. Like right in here, I had all these little red bumps and all this texture and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, no. But there's something in here that just did not like my skin. And I'm the type of person, okay, maybe if I would have continued using it, my skin would have gotten better, but if it breaks me out, then that means my skin doesn't like it and I stop it. So that was the one negative I had about this. The day that I did wear it, it did seem to, I just put it in my T-zone, that's where I put my concealer, and it did seem to hold up my makeup well. Like it seemed like my concealer went on better, but it's just not worth it for me to use it if it's going to break me out, and I'm not going to keep using it to try to figure out if my skin will get used to it or not. So that was a no-go for me, and unfortunately, I love you guys a lot, but I am not putting it on my face today. I got redness, I don't need texture to go along with it, okay? I forgot to mention that this retails at Ulta for $8, so just in case you're interested. So next is the e.l.f. foundation. This is their Flawless Finish Foundation. I chose the color Snow. On the Ulta website, it does not give any description for the colors, but once I received it, it does say that this is fair with pink undertones. Now, I will tell you, almost every foundation that has some sort of description, like fair with rosy undertones or pink undertones or whatever, that's usually my color. It's usually spot on, and I'm like, okay, perfect. And it makes it so much easier to pick out the color. I picked this out not knowing that this was actually fair with pink undertones, but I can tell you it is not fair with pink undertones. It is very fair, but there's no pinkness to it. It is very, very white, flat, holy crap, super white. I am super white. I am like translucent white. This is even whiter than me, and I'm like, wow. They do have 12 colors. It's not a huge color line, but I wanted to show you what the color looked like so you can see. But I will be taking this off of me because this is one thing that I did try and it ended up breaking me out. So what I did was I extended the 10-day wear. Usually I try to wear the products for 10 days, and by then I pretty much know whether or not the products are gonna be good. So when I tried the primer and it broke me out, I gave it enough time for my skin to kind of like reset and the texture to go away before I went in with the foundation. And then I tried the foundation, and not only was the color bad, but it also ended up breaking me out all over my T-zone. So the primer really only broke me out here, but this broke me out. I had little bumps all over here. I had bumps all over here, and that is not normal for my skin. So I wanna show you like how freaking white this thing is. So that's what it looks like. It's not horrible color. It's but it's just too flat for me. Like there's no pink in it. Like it does a really good job, you could see, of like covering up. I would say this is a very like full coverage foundation. So you can kind of see, I put a lot on there. But so you can see like what the coverage is. It does a really good job of covering. I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good. But the problem is I felt like this foundation never really sunk into my skin. Not only did it break me out, but it just feels like it's just sitting on there, like it doesn't mesh. And so I tried using the blending brush. This is the this is the sponge. This is Blending Sponge Duo Best for Liquids. So this is the e.l.f. one. It is latex free and it retails for $10 because you get 2. Now I normally use the, what is the other one? The Real Techniques one. I love that. It's cheaper than the Beauty Blender, works just as well, but the texture is different. Like this here, they're disgusting. I know, I need to clean them. But the Real Techniques sponge is super, like it's dense. The e.l.f. one has like holes in it. And so it's just a weird thing. So that's one thing. I'll talk about the sponge in a second. So, but that's what I'm using. But I just felt like this just didn't blend it in. I tried to use a foundation brush, didn't help. And then I ended up taking it off and trying to use the Real Techniques sponge. And it still just never sank into my skin. And then by the end of the day, I was broken out and I was like, okay, this is done. So I personally do not like this. Again, it's the biggest thing is the breaking out, but also because it just didn't look well on my skin. And it kind of, like usually when I get foundations that have that rosy or pink undertone, it makes me look alive. This to me, after I was done with my skin, I still felt like I literally felt like I was dead. Like honestly and truly, every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, ooh, like it just, I put on bronzer, I did everything else, and I tried to warm it up as best as I could, but it just looked very flat. It just looked very dead. The color just, like I said, it looked like I had a mask on. It's very, very weird. So I personally do not like this. I'm gonna take this side off, but I wanted you guys to see it is very full coverage. I think it does a great job of covering up stuff. I just couldn't get it to mesh with my skin and actually look like my skin. So that is a downside for me. So I put back, I moisturized this side of my face just so it would be even. But I want to talk a little bit more about the sponge while this is sinking in. So like I said, compared to the Real Techniques sponge, it's more porous. Like I felt like it almost, for lack of a better word, because I tried this with other foundations, but I just felt like it like left holes in my foundation, if that makes any sense, because it was so porous. It wasn't like it gave me like a smooth, like even application. It was just like a little bit of holes. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like this looked like my skin instead of like flat, you know, perfection or whatever. So I'm really not loving it. This is the one, like this is how it looks normally, and this is it, you know, all blown up and stuff like that. And it just didn't get as damp too as the Real Techniques one. I felt like the water never like really got into it and made it damp. Like I feel like it's damp here, but it's just not damp like the Real Techniques. So, okay. So I'm gonna go in with my foundation. This is the one that I've currently been loving, the Clinique Even Better Glow. To me, this is like a step up from a BB cream, but not as full coverage as a regular one. So next is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This retails for $5 and there is 18 different colors, so not horrible. Now I will tell you, I got the color Light Peach. I don't even know what that means. I thought it was going to come out like a little bit orangey, I guess. I don't even know why I picked Light Peach. I'm not even sure if I actually did. Maybe they gave me something wrong. But there's no peachiness to this. It is white, 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 white. I mean, that is as white as it can get. But I'm also very white. So the thing with this stuff is a little bit does go a long way. This is very Tarte Shape Tape like. But I have to be very careful with it because you can get like cake face very, very easily. So I'm just putting a little bit, very little bit. The good thing about that, I'm no longer going to use the sponge because I hate it. I'm going to use this. But look at that coverage. I mean, like, there's just nothing there. It's just nothing. So this is definitely not a natural concealer by any means. But as far as this goes, I think it's great. I think it's a great dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. If you're somebody on the budget, like I said, it's very, very similar. It does last all day. I would recommend baking it because it is very, very thick and it will break up. But as you can see, a little bit goes a long way. It is super full coverage. It is matte. And they do have, I mean, they have 18 colors, so it's not a horrible range. So I think anybody can pretty much, you know, pick out something. But the beauty about this, they're $5. So if you are in between colors, you can buy 2 of them and find your perfect match and only be in the hole for $10, which is crazy to me. So yeah, would recommend that if you're somebody who is looking for a Tarte Shape Tape. For me, it is a little bit too drying and not something that I can get away with every single day. I have been just dousing myself with every hydration product that I possibly can because my face is like, what are you doing? So crazy. So I'm gonna go in and set my face and bake it with the Hourglass Mineral Veil, or Veil Translucent Powder, whatever. Okay, so my face is baked. So next I'm gonna go in with the Primer Infuse Bronzer. This is in the color Forever Kissed. On the Ulta website, there is only one color and it retails for $6. So I have been using this every single day, and the one thing, it's so hard to get into, but I've just been using the Morphe by Jaclyn Hill bronzer brush. This is the brush. I love this brush, but God, it sheds so bad. Like, holy crap, sheds. Like, there's a hair, there's a hair, there's a hair, and then I'll find hairs all up in there. But basically, it is pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. I have used it for both bronzing and contouring, and it does a good job with both of them. It blends out really, really well. Look at this. I mean, this brush is just like going crazy. Look at all the hairs. I love it, but it's just shed. It's a shedder. Kind of like my dog. I love golden retrievers, but my God, do they shed. So that is that. What I like about it is it's not too ashy, but it's not red undertone. A lot of times with bronzers, I just feel like it's so like brick red or like that brownish red, and it doesn't look good on my skin tone. But this is very neutral, but it's not like dead ashy. So this is compared to the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So as you can see, the butter bronzer has a little bit more of a sheen to it, while the e.l.f. one is super, super matte. I would say the color is pretty the same. I don't notice the super big difference in the color, but I prefer this one actually more, which is crazy because you can see how much I actually use this. This is my everyday go-to bronzer, but since I've tried this, I'm like, okay, yes, this is it. It blends out well. It does stay all day, and that's the one big thing. It does say it has primer infused, but it does not break out my skin for whatever reason. I don't know if it has the same primer as the other stuff or the same ingredients, but whatever it has in the other one, it apparently doesn't have in this because it doesn't break up my skin or anything like that. But by the end of the day, I still see it on my skin. It still looks really good. I actually really, really like this. Like I said, it retails for $6. Aside from the only negative I have is it's a beast to try to get into, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna break my thumbnail, but other than that, it's pretty good. So next I'm gonna go in with the Primer Infuse Blush. This is in the color Always Rosy. They do have 2 different colors. One of them I think is called Just Cheeky or whatever. It looked a little bit very, very light, but I like this one because it looked like it was very flesh toned, like just kind of like a nice flushed color. But this one also has the primer infused, and it does retail for $6. I just go in with this, I think this is a Real Techniques blush brush. And that is that. So I also have been using this like I said, every single day. This and the bronzer were my standout items where I was like, okay, like I really, really like it. This is something that I will incorporate into my everyday routine. I think it's great. So next is the Jelly Highlighter. I feel like everybody's coming out with these. This is in the color Bubbly. I think they have 3 different colors. I got the one that was more like champagne-y looking, and it's all googly. I use powder products, so I don't normally use, you know, put liquid products on top of it. But for this video, I am, and I can tell you I have, and it works just fine. Oh no, I got too low. There's a little bit left on my finger. You can see here, like I just try to blend it out just as much. It is a little chunky. It's not glittery. I would say it's more like that wet kind of look. But yeah, and that's kind of what it looks like on the skin. Like I said, I mean, it's not, to be honest, it's not my favorite way to highlight my face. I prefer powder products, but it's not bad. This is glowing like a freaking disco ball. Holy crap. But on the cheeks, I think it's definitely very, very pretty. It doesn't last all day though. Like I haven't found a way to make it actually last through the end of the day. But if you're just going out for a special event or whatever, I think it would be pretty. It's definitely prettier in the sun than it is in like light, regular light, but that's it. But as far as this, I honestly and truly, it's not a product that I look forward to using. I think it's pretty. I mean, it's only $6. It's not crazy. So if you are interested in, or you like those wet, you know, kind of jelly highlighters, then this might be a good one. But it's just not for me. So next is the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Spray. This retails for $8, or it's Dewy Setting Mist, and the coconut, this retails for $8. What I've been using this for is, so you have to spray it first. Like you can see, I don't know if you can see, like it sprays in a fine mist, but there's little things. So like there's little like balls that come out. Like it sprays in a fine mist, except like right here. And I just don't understand, like Morphe has it down pat where they have the continuous setting spray where it just sprays out in such a fine mist. It never clogs, it's always perfect. And I just don't know why other brands, like maybe they have a patent on it, maybe that's the case or whatever, but I just don't understand how other brands like just don't pick up on that, because this sucks. But what I've been doing is I'll spray it, oh, even there, holy crap. Oh, so much. Like, it's like freaking, I just got sprayed with a water hose. Look at how much. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. It's horrible. This does not break out my skin. Even my Tatcha, was it Tatcha doing spray or whatever, even hers sometimes gets a little, and I'm like, okay, hello. But this one just, and it burns a little bit, like just a little burning. I don't know why. Maybe it's got alcohol in it. Doesn't look like it has alcohol in it, but there's something that does burn just a slight bit. It's not bad. But like I said, I didn't break out with it. It was fine, but it's just not for me. The sprayer, honestly and truly, even the product was okay. I'd be like, okay, you know, it's not so bad or whatever. The price point's good. You know, and if you're looking for something, because it does make you do it. Like I am a little bit that sticky feeling, the same way that I feel with the Tatcha setting spray or the Dewy Setting Mist or whatever. But the sprayer just sucks on this one. I mean, you saw it. It's like, it's not fun. Okay. You can see here, like it's starting to clump up a little bit on the ends and stuff. So that's probably all I need. It doesn't, to be completely honest, I hate to compare it to other mascaras, but I mean, let's be real, that's what we do. The Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but also the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara will give you the same effect, and it will be a heck of a lot easier to work with. I feel like both of those will give you that volumizing, but are less clumpy. Like this is just really, really difficult. It's not horrible. If you are in the market and you want a volumizing mascara, it's $5. The price point is perfect. It's not a horrible mascara, but you do have to be very, very patient with it and just kind of go in very light-handed and build it up. But there will be a point where it's like, okay, it's starting to clump and I need to stop. So that is this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it gave you some, you know, tips and yes or no's and, you know, good things out there. I definitely think that the blush and the bronzer are awesome. Like, out of everything, those are two things that I definitely will be incorporating in my regular makeup routine because they are that fabulous. Everything else was okay, but hopefully it helped you guys. So until next time, bye.